Mike, thanks for sitting down with us. You're going to be heading off to Kenya on another trip for another pastors conference in just a couple of weeks. So we wanted to sit down together and just hear a little bit more about that trip. But as I was thinking about it, I realized there's a lot of newer folks that are a part of Summit that just might not have any context or knowledge of the way that Summit has been involved in ministry in Kenya, in fact, across Africa, through Agape Projects International. And so I wanted you to maybe start off by sharing with us just a little bit about who API is, what API does, how API formed, and how we're involved with it as a church.
Yeah. In 2007, we were invited to go to Kenya with a couple other guys. We ended up doing our first pastors conference in 2007. And it was out of that two other guys and myself decided that we needed to do this on a regular basis. And so we formed API USA to do really three things. One, to train pastors and church leaders, to provide short-term medical missions, and to provide evangelistic outreach and training for local pastors. So since 2007, we've been going over 2 to 3 times a year, holding pastors conferences. My area is Pastoral Development, and so I'm really full-time engaged in overseeing, helping to train the next generation of Kenyan leaders and pastors. And so that's really what we're about, and that's what I'm passionate about.
Yeah. Talk to us for a second just about that need over in Africa in particular. Africa's churches abound in Kenya, but there's a great need for training of a lot of those pastors. Maybe speak just briefly to the need over there for the kind of training that you guys are offering to pastors and leaders through API.
Well, in the United States, there's about one well-trained, theologically trained pastor for every 275 people. In countries like Kenya, it's 1 in 450,000. And so the need is huge. There are churches all over the place in Kenya. Unfortunately, they've been the recipients of a lot of our bad theology that's been exported to third world countries. And so what we're doing is planting little areas of good theological, biblically based training centers in Kenya among the pastors and church leaders there. And so these conferences are a big part of that, a big part of what we do there.
Yeah, and these conferences have really grown. I know over the years we've just seen the numbers and the demand for being a part of them really grow significantly. You guys are going to be going on this one to northwest Kenya, to Lodwar. Tell us about last year's trip there and how many pastors came and maybe what you're expecting this year at that conference.
Yeah, that has grown year by year since this will be the 7th year that we're there, and we get pastors from not only Kenya, Turkana, but also from Ethiopia, South Sudan, Uganda. We had a pastor from the Congo there last year. And we've gone from about 80 to 150 that regularly attend. We won't probably see that many this year just because of the restrictions that are still in place in the country.
Yeah, why don't you share with us a little bit about that, because I know you guys had a spring trip planned that got canceled because of coronavirus. You've had to kind of wait till the last minute on this trip. Why don't you share with us just the process even of getting this trip to happen, and then how that's going to affect even what this year looks like on the ground, what you're expecting on the ground for this conference?
Yeah, it's been a strange year for everyone. But in March, all international flights were canceled. Churches and large gatherings were prohibited in Kenya, and we had to cancel our first trip. On July 5th, the country's been slowly opening up, but on July 5th, there were a group of 20, 25 pastors that we regularly see over there that got together specifically to pray ahead of the president's announcement of some reopening things. And they specifically prayed that churches would reopen, that international flights would reopen, that domestic travel would reopen. And on the 6th, the president came out and all of those restrictions were lifted. And so we saw our way clear to affirm that we were going to go. And so July 15th, churches and gatherings of up to 100 people will be permitted. August 1st, international flights open, which is a great relief because I have a flight on August 4th. And so I've been in contact with the pastors over there, and everybody's really excited. They're still holding more prayer meetings, just praying that things will remain open and it won't close back down.
Yeah. Now tell us the dates that you're going to be gone and the dates of the conference itself.
I'll be gone from August 4th to August 28th. The conference is from the 10th through the 14th. The rest of my itinerary over there is going to other areas that we minister in, meeting with pastors, church leaders, doing some training, also taking some books and Bibles, helping. We're going to, Lord willing, put up another church in Lodwar. So that's all part of what we're going to be doing.
Yeah, that's great. Now, these conferences, especially this one that happens in August, has really been able to happen over the last several years, each year, through the generous support of folks at Summit giving specifically to this.
Right.
Why don't you share with us this year how we as a church can be supporting financially, practically, and prayerfully what's going on in August?
Yeah, this is I think one of the a conference that is crucial to the church there. We're going to be talking about the mystery unveiled, a biblical understanding of the church.
Yeah.
And we're expecting probably 90 to 95. We have to limit the number of pastors to attend. It's going to cost around $5,000, and we're looking to raise $5,000 to make this happen. We also need some regular daily prayer around this because it's always surrounded by opposition. Anytime the gospel comes in and light begins to enter, things happen. And so we need saints who are going to pray for us on a daily basis. And we need prayer for the conference, that things will, for the country, that things will remain open. We need prayer for all the pastors who will attend, that the word they hear would be not only heard, but taken back to their congregations. Because our goal is to build healthy, reproducing churches that will in turn spawn many others. And this year we're excited because we have some local pastors who are going to join us in the teaching, along with Pastor Tim Bourgeois from Tree of Life Church down in California, and myself. There'll be 4 other local Kenyan pastors that will be presenting during this time. So we're really pumped for this.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to hearing all that God does through this time. If you want to pray for or financially support what God's doing through this conference coming up, all of that information is going to be in the description for this video and on our website. And so check it out there. Let's be praying for and caring for what God's doing in Kenya through API.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you.